Okay, today we're going over the Avalanche 390DS. Start off here at the front. Your salesman will go over the hitch process with you. As we go down here, we've got your hydraulic reservoir right there and hydraulic pump. Just make sure that all those fittings stay tight because sometimes when you're going down the road they get loosened up and then you could have a leak. So just go in there, check every once in a while, make sure there's no fluid dripping, otherwise just tighten these down. Back here is your battery disconnect switch to turn the batteries off. Flip that to power off, and then this other switch here is your inverter cutoff. Just twist that dial into the right position to cut the power off from the inverter. Below that is your docking light switch that turns on this LED bar right here. You have your inverter power on and off down there to turn the inverter on. Obviously, well, not obviously, but what that is for is to convert your battery power over to 120 volts. That way you can power your residential fridge while you're driving down the road, as well as convert any of that battery power over to power a couple outlets inside as well. Up top, there's another red switch that is your solar power disconnect. So if you wanted to cut the power from your solar panels off, you can do that from there. Your solar charge controller is up there as well. That just regulates how much solar power is taken in. So if your batteries are already full, then it won't take any more power in, so that you're not just constantly charging the batteries. In there is your storage compartment. Put a generator in there as well. Let's go along the side here. This panel is your leveling system to use this power on. Holding front brings the front end up. Holding down brings the front end down. But basically once you're off your truck at the campsite, you're just going to press auto level. And that is going to level the unit out automatically. Once all the jacks are back up, because I had started it earlier, but the phone died, so I just kind of reset it here for a second. All right, now if I press auto level, it's gonna start going. So you can see those back jacks are gonna start moving down. This takes about 5 minutes. If you walk around inside while it's doing its auto level, it does take a little longer. You can throw it off its calibration, but while it does its thing, I'll keep moving on. Propane tanks are in here. Twist the left open, right is closed. To change what tank you're reading from, just flip this valve here. This turns clear when there's gas present in the line. So if this turned red while the tank was open, then you know your tank's empty. Storage compartment right here. And you have your water bay. What you're going to do here is, depending on what kind of camping you're doing, you are staying somewhere that has a spigot on the site, you're going to use city water. So to do that, leave this knob on normal flow. Make sure your winterize is in the off position and that your water heater bypass is off as well. Before you run any water, come over to your water heater and put your anode rod in. Slides right in there. Tighten it down with a 1 1/16 socket wrench. Once it's in there nice and tight, then you're good to run water. So you'll hook in your hose right here, turn the water on. That's going to start running water to all the faucets, sinks, showers, and to the water heater. Nothing's going to come out of the hot side of the sink until this water heater is filled. As the water fills up in this tank, I like to leave the hot tap open on the kitchen sink. That way any air pressure that's built up in here is released. But once it is full, water is going to be coming out of that hot side of the sink, and you're good to turn this on. You can do that from the inside. It's gas and electric, and I'll show you those switches inside later on. If you're staying somewhere that does not have that city hookup, so they don't have a spigot on the site, you're going to fill your fresh tank up. So you'll do that from here. Twist this to fill. You'll hook into the same connection here. Turn the water on. That shoots water into that fresh tank. It's going to start filling it up. You can watch the tank levels from the inside. It's going to be showing you how full it is. That way you know when you need to turn it off. But yeah, once it's full, come back out here. Turn it back to normal flow, turn your water pump on, and it's going to start pumping from the fresh tank to your faucets and everything. We'll also run water to the water heater as well. So again, make sure you wait until this is full before you turn that water heater on. Black tank flush right here. When you're draining your black tank out, which is the holding tank for your toilet, you can plug your hose into there, turn the water on, and that shoots water into that black tank to help rinse it out in case there's anything stuck in there. all those tank pulls are right here. So you pull these out to open them, push them in to close them. I like to drain my black tank first. That way when I drain my grays, it helps to rinse out your sewer hose, and that all comes out right here. Looks like in the middle of the underbelly is your fresh tank drain, that blue hose sticking out. So that's where you drain that fresh tank out from. Kind of in a bad spot, but better than some. I'll go over winterizing towards the end of the video. You do have your cable satellite hookups up top there as well if you're staying somewhere that offers that. Tires will be filled, lug nuts will be checked, so you'll be ready for the road. And as you can see, these back jacks have come down, fronts come up, it's all leveled out. Got your rear exits right here, so it looks like you got black and gray pulls back here for that rear bathroom. Pull those out to open them, push them to close them, same deal as the other one, and those labels are right on that skirt metal, so black was on the left and gray is on the right. Power cord plugs in back here, 50 amp supply. Looks like you got your backup camera installed already. Back door ladder is 250 pounds capacity. See if we got anything on the side. Look like it. Got your low point drains right there, which I'll go over later on as well. Those are part of winterization. 2 outlets right there. Furnace exhaust. This does get hot, so if you have kids, make sure they know not to touch that if you're going to be running the furnace. Looks like we got your starter kit here. So you got your 50 amp down to 30 amp supply to go down amperage at a campsite, and then you have a 30 down to 110 if you need to plug it into your house. Starter sewer hose, I'd suggest to get a nicer one than this. These ones are a little cheap, not very long. They don't have an end for any attachments either. And then a drinking hose to start you off. This is a good one. Spare tire crank right up there. And then in here are your batteries all hooked up already and ready to go. You have a Zamp solar plug right here, so if you want to get the Zamp solar kit, it's just a little extra solar panel out on the side here. So that just further charges those batteries. As we walk inside though, sorry if the video is shaky, it's quite windy outside, so it's kind of shaking my phone around. But as we walk in, right up here is our panel. So we got our levels all down. So we got a couple lights here, and then we got all the slide outs right there. So just hold the switch and it's going to start going out. It is still a little dirty in here. Our cleaning ladies have not gotten to this unit quite yet, but it will be clean when you come pick it up. Slide out 2. Probably one right here. Slide 3, don't know which one that is, we'll see. It's gonna be the bedroom. Basically, once you see that slide out stop moving, just let go of the switch. And then the last one will be that back bedroom slide. So now that slide out is out as well. Really do like this unit. Lots of places to sleep. One of my favorite floor plans. But other things on here, you got some lights there on and off. Up here are those water heater switches I was talking about, gas or electric. So if you're plugged in, I'll just use the electric one. Once that tank's full, go ahead, turn it on. 10 to 15 minutes later, you'll have hot water. And then for the gas one, make sure your gas supply is on. Flip it, ignites itself. 10 to 15 minutes, you'll have hot water. Just don't leave that one on all the time, otherwise you're just burning propane for no reason. So shut it off, and then 10 to 15 minutes before you think you're going to need hot water, like if you're taking a shower or going to wash dishes, turn that one on. The one on the right is your water pump switch, so you turn that on to draw water from the fresh tank to pump to the faucets. And then up top are the tank level monitors. So battery level, that's just gonna read full all the time if you're plugged in. So if you want an accurate reading, unplug the unit. Battery's charged when the unit's plugged in or when you're 7 ways hooked up to your tow vehicle or from the solar. Fresh tanks right here. Black 1, black 2, gray 1, gray 2, might even be gray 3. But yeah, that reads the tank levels. Then you have your awning switches right here, in and out for the one on the slide out, and for the one above the door. So I'll run the one with the door out for us. Just hold out. Open out. Crisp, fresh awning. Once it's all the way out, it's gonna be a little white flap at the end. Face it straight down with new awnings. Still kind of stays rolled up, so right now you can sort of see that white piece would be straight facing straight down, but it's just stuck to the end right now since it's brand new. But eventually it'll flop down. To pitch the awning, pinch these tabs in, and then you can pull this arm down. That's gonna tip the awning this way so that the water would run off. That way you don't get any water that pools up on top there. Always make sure to pitch the awning. But when you run it back in, make sure you adjust it back to the original position. And as you can see, it kind of does bob up and down in the wind, which is nice, sort of like suspension for your awning, so it's not ripping it out of the sidewall. But obviously, if it's super windy outside, I'd still suggest bringing in the awning. The awning above the slide out works the exact same way. Bring it in. This switch right here is for your ceiling fan. So if I turn it on, see it starts spinning. Down here are your thermostats for the front bedroom and for the main area in here. There's probably another one in the back for that rear AC. But anyways, use this bottom bar to switch through the different modes. So you have just the fan, air conditioning, and then heat. The heat will only be run from this one. That runs heat for the entire unit. But once that is there, that kicks on. If we go to AC, temperature up and down once you get to the mode you want to use. Obviously, you don't need it to be 40 degrees in here. Since it's already really cold, it might not turn on. You gotta make sure to just put it on cool. Low. And so you can hear it kick on. Turn that back off since it's already freezing in here. Getting cold. Over here you've got your warranty packet. It's got the user manuals, owner manuals, all this stuff all tucked in there. And you got your backup cameras and things right here, as well as the manuals and settings for all of those keyless entry doors and the keys for those. Otherwise, I got the original keys in my pocket here. I'll set them on the sink for you guys. It looks like they got all the RV lock keys already on there for you. Normally the purple keys would do the doors, but since you got these ones, these are going to do the doors now, the black ones. But these gray ones will unlock your compartment doors. You got your fridge here. If you want to learn more about that, read manual here. Going over here, we got the burners. Flip this up. And then to light these, you'll push in, turn to the left, spark it to the right. Always make sure you turn your igniter to the right, and that does light all three burners as well as the oven. But yeah, just one click, that sends a spark through it. Just follow the arrow. So if you turn to the left, you can break it. But this is a burner, and the last one's the oven. Lighting the oven takes a little longer. Push in, hold to this flame marker here, and then just keep watching down below until it lights. Once it comes on, you can open it up to whatever temperature you needed. Up is the panel light, down is the panel and the oven light. Middle's off. Travel, make sure the glass is down. Microwave's pretty self-explanatory. Turn on a couple more lights in here. See if we can find some remotes and things. Looks like they're all in here. TV remotes, radio remote, fireplace remote, and then your sink drain remotes. But anyways, radio, you can change the sources so that you can run the audio from the TV. You can also change it to Bluetooth, connect to your phone. and change the zones so that you can play through the speakers right here and those speakers outside. Then down here is the fireplace. Power-ons right here. This is electric, so if you want to heat the place up without using propane, I'd highly suggest you use this. Pumps out a ton of heat. Half hour, 45 minutes. It's nice and warm in here. I definitely need this right now because it's so cold in here. But different colors, brightnesses, and then temperature adjustment right here, and that all goes off that little reading in the corner. I believe it goes up to 82, or maybe this is the one that goes up to 99. So you can make it a sauna in here, and then you can also turn the heat off. That way it's just the color display. So that's kind of cool as well. Any light that doesn't go on with the panel over there will have individual switches located around the unit like that. So like ones like this. For travel, make sure that your dinette chairs are strapped down. You don't want those to slide around because then the finish kind of gets scratched up on the corners here. I like to just get chair covers, honestly. For storage of your unit, make sure your shades are in the up position because then they get sun bleached and they don't work as well over time. So make sure they're up. Really brightens it up in here. Got your light switch here for underneath the chair. Then you have heat and massage, and then the reclining pole is right there. So just pull up, and it pops it out. So to see if I missed anything in here. Down here is the carbon monoxide and LP gas leak detector. That does draw off the batteries when the unit's not plugged in. So if you don't want those batteries to die, I suggest take the negative ends off of them. Otherwise, if you're storing this unit, take those batteries out entirely, put them somewhere warmer, put them on a charger. Go check out the loft here. Super cool area. Probably one of my favorites in all of the units we have here, but super cool. I don't think there's really anything to go over up here. It's just kind of a sleeping area. Obviously, to turn the lights on up here, you just have to press on the middle of the light. There's little buttons on them. And then the shades are the same way. But yeah, really cool space. And then we'll go down in here and turn some lights on. Got that back end entry door. So this is what the stairs look like when they're folded up. But they just flop out of that door frame once it opens up. Toilet is pedal flush. Sink, shower. All pretty simple. Travel, make sure your travel latches are on the shower so those glass doors don't slide and shatter. See if this bed's got it. It does. Bed lifts up. Got some storage space underneath there. That's nice. Put some blankets, chairs. You got the TV mounting area. Always make sure that you follow where the sticker is. That's usually where the stud is at if you're going to be installing a TV mount. We'll walk up to the main bedroom now. So we've got the bed here. Looks like the bedspread's falling off. You have a light switch and dimmer here so you can dim the lights. And then you got your AC control for in here. So it looks like this one is going to be the one for the very back. So this bed also is going to lift up. You can get the bedspread out of the way. More storage underneath there. And then you got the shower. There's some pink on the floor. That's antifreeze because we winterized the unit. Again, shower latch, make sure that's down for travel. Otherwise, you do have your GFCI in here. If you need to reset the outlets if they ever trip, do that from there. Just hit that reset key on there. That'll flush. Light switch on the wall. Turn your fan on up here. Just press the fan switch. That turns it on. Just manually crank it open. You do have the vent on top, so you can leave this open when it's raining, but honestly, I'd still just leave it closed. Pop this open. Looks like we got the washer and dryer installed in here. Just a little something for you. Heat comes out of these floor registers. Just make sure you don't put the full weight of your foot on these, because otherwise you can bend them. And then AC comes out of these ceiling vents as such. Knock back to here. Got battery heat right here. That's just going to heat that area where the batteries are stored in so that those don't get cold. if you were camping in the wintertime. But overall, I think that's everything for the inside. Obviously, sometimes there are things I miss, so please bring questions with you. If you think there's something I didn't go over or something you do want me to go over with you more in depth, be glad to do so. Fire extinguishers down there. Now I will go over the winterizing process with you. Show you how our guys winterize. So always make sure your black and gray tanks as well as your fresh tank are all emptied out. Then you're gonna come in here, put this on to winterize. That's gonna cut the antifreeze off from getting to the water heater. So actually, never mind. Sorry, I misspoke there. Going to turn this to winterize and then turn the water heater bypass switch to the on position. That cuts any water supply off to the water heater. You'll drain the water heater out by letting the pressure off of the pressure relief valve here, and then take your anode rod out with the 1 1/16 socket, and any water that's in here is just going to spill out over the side and drain out. Once you've got those settings all set up, that changes where the water pump draws from. So now it's going to be pulling from this winterize system area here. So you plug a hose into here and then run that hose into a jug of antifreeze that you have set out here. You probably need 5 to 10 gallons of antifreeze to winterize this unit. But once that hose is in there, turn the pump on. It's going to start pumping that antifreeze to your faucets, sinks, and showers. Go to each individual sink one at a time. Open up the hot and the cold, and then do those separately. So open the hot first, run it until it's completely pink, then open the cold, run it until it's completely pink. Make sure you get plenty of antifreeze down the drains as well. Do that at every faucet, sink, shower, and the toilet. Once you've gotten antifreeze through all of that, and make sure you've gotten plenty down all the drains as well, go to these low point drains. You'll pop them open by pulling up until it's completely pink coming out of the bottom, and then you'll do it on the cold side as well until it's completely pink coming out of the bottom. Close those off, and then you are all done. So it's really simple, actually, but hopefully that makes sense. And then again, make sure that all those tanks are emptied out because you don't want tanks to freeze, because then they can crack and then you'll have a leak. Alrighty, with all of that said, that should be everything. Obviously, again, I mentioned again, sometimes I miss things, sometimes I forget to mention stuff, so please bring questions with you. Love to get those answered for you, and I hope you have a great camping experience in this thing. One of my favorite units, super cool. But have a great rest of your day. Hopefully the video was helpful.